The BBC, it's over. And are we surprised? Let's discuss. Hello, everyone. It's the Cockney Pollster here. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you're all well. And while you're at it, if you can like, share, and subscribe and press the notification bell, it's always appreciated. You know that. Well, on a day when Generation Zers are being accused of being lazy, understatement of the year or what, we will be looking into the sheer state of an institution which, when I was growing up in the 60s, was second only to Her Majesty the Queen as far as the affection and response of the nation was concerned. How things have changed, eh? For what my generation knew as Auntie Beeb. It literally could do nothing wrong and underpin so much of our lives and the social fabric of our society. It was dependable personified. And now, my God, is all I can say. Indeed, are its days numbered? Is it terminal? And what has caused it? Now, I have a poll running on this one, and as always, patriots, you're not wanting for opinions. But before we lift the bonnet on the subject, it's worth just taking a cursory look at the current Director General's pathetic plans to stem the tide, so to speak. Apparently, and as an obvious reaction to the new BBC chair Samir Shah, yeah, I know, who used his first staff memo to warn that tough choices and hard decisions are to come at the broadcaster. And Director General Tim Davie is set to deliver an all staff speech about the future direction of the BBC and its role for the UK later this month. Future direction? Don't make me laugh. That's coded language for we are in deep doggy doo-doos, everyone. Don't panic, Captain Mainwaring, don't panic. And the wokey media babble just gets better with this one. After making his speech on March the 26th, Davey said he will hold sessions with each division to look at what this means for everyone in more detail and what we need to do to prioritise as we set goals for the year ahead. And he goes on. Despite the speech expected to be broad, some insiders anticipate, you love this bit, more digital first reshuffling. Digital first reshuffling? God help us say. What utter media bollocks. These people are so out of touch with the real world that they have now become a parody of their own parody BBC series, W1A, which starred the superb Hugh Bonneville. Check it out. It's one of the last good comedies the BBC ever did. So let's take a look at the poll in question and see how you're voting. Now, I have to say I resisted asking the obvious question about defunding or about the cost and value of the licence fee, which I understand is going up by a tenner a month or something very soon. I asked you a question about what was causing the BBC's terminal decline. And the question was this. Viewing figures are plummeting, and Director General Tim Davie is set to deliver an all-staff speech about the future direction of the BBC and its role for the UK later this month. What has caused its downfall? So there were four options. That is too woke, diversity obsessed, disrespect UK traditions, and all of the above. And as you can see, all of the above was 74.3%. Disrespect UK traditions 12.4, diversity obsessed 4.8, too woke 8.6. But yeah, of course it's biased, but you get the drift. You know my polls by now, patriots. Perish the thought that they're really biased. And here are your thoughts on the matter. Starting with Diablo. The BBC can carry on, but the licence tax needs to be stopped. They need to make their own way without the taxpayers of this country. Very clear on that one. And Thorin Oaken says, here we go again. Go woke, go broke. I just object now to paying for it. Doesn't it just? But such is the demonic reach of the woke culture these days that they've ploughed on regardless, and as the BBC doesn't have any shareholders to consider, they've now entrenched themselves ever more into their terminal and woke obsessed cesspit. And Jeff the Ninth, always good to hear from you, Jeff. Always very discerning replies. He says, There's no place in modern society for a state-owned television channel. The BBC and Channel 4 should have been sold off years ago. If people like what they're watching, then they'll happily pay for it. Yes? As I said, I didn't focus on the funding aspect, but you have clear views on that subject, which, by the way, I totally concur with. But for my part, I think it's a tad lazy and convenient even to blame the BBC's demise as those in the digital space now default to, which is that viewing habits have changed due to streaming, multiple platforms, demographic shifts. Don't get me started on that one, patriots. And better value subscription offerings elsewhere. That's almost become like the go to rollout answer as to what's going on with the BBC. But for me, yeah, competition is welcome and so called choice. But is that choice a bit of an illusion? I mean, I saw a brilliant cartoon the other day where a teenager and his granddad were watching the TV together. And the granddad said to his grandson, "Do you know, I can remember when there was nothing to watch on only three channels." It's hilarious. Go on, admit it. How many of you channel flick and search every night through literally thousands of thumbnails and content and think to yourselves, blimey, there's nothing to watch tonight? Says it all, really, eh? The aforementioned are all factors, of course, but fundamentally, the BBC is in terminal decline because its own content these days, apart from the odd Attenborough and Simon Reeve documentary, in my opinion, is basically crap. Creativity, serious broadcasting, an ironic sense of humour, educational and non-PC content was what made the BBC not only reliable and dependent, it often surprised us with taking a chance, which out of sheer panic it never would do today, with risky and edgy output. The iconic comedies like Monty Python, The Young Ones, Blackadder, Only Fools, Yes Minister were not just brilliant because they were well written, but they also had terrific first class actors playing the parts, and the scripts, as I say, were sublime. Today's comedy, it's superficial and it's all sweary for infantilised audiences to make them snigger, or presented by overgrown children's presenters like Ant and Dec or that jerky headed Michael McIntyre. Like the rest of society, the BBC has been dumbed down and no longer knows what it's for. Now, overlay that with myriad obsessions such as diversity, culture wars, and overrepresentation of ethnic actors in dramas, and we see it all on TV ads as well, don't we? Box ticking, woke and PC pandering, and you end up with what we've got. Now, don't get me wrong, that's the direction of travel for most streaming channels as well, and also for the rest, where Channel 4 and ITV are also disappearing down the plug hole. But we hoped that the BBC would have resisted that, played to its strengths, and look after and cater for its patriotic base. It was once the go to channel for patriotic minded folk, but you, the BBC, you've lost us forever. So there you have it. And as I say, if you can like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell, it's always appreciated. And new followers are certainly welcome to my polls on X, so tell your friends and followers and come and get involved and you have your say. I'm the Cockney Pollster. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, stay safe, patriots.